Hey guys, so this is just my third attempt at a driving video, I guess you could say. And yeah, obviously this one's at nighttime. Damn, it's way darker than I thought it was going to be on the screen. I just got out of the store. I just finished up at the gym in the grocery store. And the parking lot, when I was at the grocery store, you know, obviously because it was a parking lot, there were still some lights in the background. Oh, there's some right there. Oh my gosh, that was the headlights on another car. Wow, this looks interesting. So yeah, it looked like there was some better lighting in the parking lot, and now that I'm actually driving onto the roads, it's pretty dark on the screen. I don't know, I might not post this video though. I'm kind of just still practicing with taking videos right now. This is my, technically, I think my fourth one today, actually. The first two that I did was basically like, they were intended to be a quick little review on a protein bar that I had earlier before the gym. And as usual, that just turned into me rambling unnecessarily, like incessant, unnecessary rambling. So, and I actually had like chocolate on my face from the protein bar. For those that I didn't realize. I don't really care though. I mean, I was just a hot mess all around, but without the hot part. Well, kind of with the hot part, because it's been pretty hot lately, but definitely not attractive and not hot in that sense, that's for sure. I mean, I hadn't brushed my wig that I'm wearing. I hate lately, I've noticed when I do videos, I'll typically have like one or two strands from my wig just like in my face that I don't notice at first. I can feel them, but I can't really see them well enough to actually get them out of the way. And I gotta say, there's nothing quite like the feeling of having a wig hair like stuck to your face and especially like poking you in the eyes. The wigs that I wear, I mean, I can't really afford, or even if I could, I don't think I'd want to spend money on wigs that have like real hair, like human hair. So the wigs that I have are fake hair, and it's just like, it feels like straw, particularly when they're poking me in the eyes, the little strands that stick out. And yeah, they look so bad on camera. Like, it drives me nuts to see them when I watch the videos back lately. Like, if I could just reach into the screen and just like get rid of that one hair that's just like stuck in front of my face, oh my gosh, it drives me nuts. So, but I guess maybe that's the positive thing, that's the upside of it being so dark for this video. Even if I can feel like I have hairs again right now, like stuck on the front of my face, but maybe they might not show up on the camera in the video as much. But yeah, I just wrapped up at the gym. I went to a different location tonight than I normally go to. So I only did an hour workout. It's been so hot lately and I'm just so tired, so I actually walked the entire time. And it's been a while since I've done that. I don't know, I'm kind of mad at myself because normally when I go on a treadmill, a lot of times what I'm used to doing lately is pretty much running for like 99 minutes straight without taking any like pauses or breaks, really. I've been doing that a lot this past year especially. But today I went to a different location and the treadmills there, most of them are set for just an hour. I was hoping I'd be able to run or jog for at least some of that, but I was watching back some of the videos that I had done earlier today, like right before I went into the gym, and I don't know, sometimes I can hear the video over the footsteps if I run or jog on a treadmill, but at this place I just couldn't. Like, I guess there was just something in the background, or for whatever reason I just couldn't hear the video well enough. So I felt I just didn't, and also it's just so hot and humid. I'm just so tired. I just didn't feel up to really running or jogging today, so I just went for like kind of a walk for pretty much the entire time. And in a way I'm mad at myself for that, but at least I was able to watch most of a video that I did earlier. The video that I did earlier was about the webcamming, you know, like being on a webcamming site, and as usual it ended up being a lot longer than I had wanted it to be. But like at the gym, since I only did an hour this time, I wasn't able to watch the entire video back yet, but I feel like I got to watch most of it. And yeah, I think I was driving for some of the first half of it, some of the beginning of the video, and I'm pretty sure, I don't think there were any signs, like, you know, for businesses or for places in the background while I was driving that would have given away my location, which was good. I didn't notice any. The driving part of it wasn't for very much of the video anyway. For most of it, I was parked in the gym parking lot because it didn't take me very long to get there. I don't know, it normally feels like it takes me a while to get there, but I guess since I was doing a video, it didn't feel nearly as long because I was just, you know, chatting and talking and stuff. Oh gosh. Ooh. So yeah, like taking videos while I'm driving, it actually really seems to help me with the drive, which I'm pretty surprised by. I'm normally a very bad multitasker, but yeah, this has been surprisingly pretty chill so far. I actually feel a lot better driving like this. So I guess this video is, again, more of just like a practice kind of thing. I don't think I'm really going to go onto a specific topic right now. I'm just kind of chatting. I'm just kind of still trying this out. Because yeah, I mean, I don't know, I guess this sounds so pathetic and ridiculous, I know, but I feel less lonely doing this while I'm driving. I don't know, like, it's obviously nighttime right now. I just wrapped up at the gym and going to the grocery store afterwards. And I don't know, like, if I didn't do this video, I know that I would be feeling very, very just down and kind of lonely and sad driving back. But talking like this and trying to make a video right now during the drive seems to kind of just distract me from those feelings and help me just to feel a little bit better and not as lonely, I guess. I don't know, I've just been going through a lot lately, but I can't really say lately though, because I feel like, I mean, I've been going through a lot pretty much since the day I was born, just about, honestly. There's rarely, if ever, been a point in my life where I wasn't going through a lot. Which, I mean, I don't want to sound like woe is me or anything like that, but that's kind of just, I mean, that's the truth. So, you know, pretty much, yeah, this channel is, I'm pretty much going to have this channel, if I can ever figure out how to upload the videos that I've taken so far onto this YouTube channel. The channel is pretty much going to be about that, you know, like just things that I've struggled with and that I still struggle with. But hopefully done in a way where people will still want to watch, and, you know, where it won't deter too many people from wanting to watch me. I was thinking like of some other things I could maybe do, like, yeah, like maybe some driving videos like this where I kind of just chat about my day or what's been going on lately, and then maybe some food reviews, since I like to try new like protein bars sometimes. I don't know, I mean, I try not to buy stuff like that because it's normally so expensive, especially these days. So I feel like if I am, but a lot of times, like, you know, I am out and about a lot, like to and from work. I'm pretty active, like to and from the gym. I'll normally try to, when I can squeeze it in time-wise and when I feel physically up to it, I'll try to go to the gym and work at the strip club that I work at in the same day, pretty much. And sometimes when I really can get myself to be able to do it, I'll try to stay into the night and do a night shift at the strip club. So I try to be as active as I can get myself to be, but it really is a struggle. But you know, like, especially those times that I am out for longer, like the gym and the club in the same day, that's more of a time where I might feel a little bit better about having something, you know, like a protein bar. But yeah, they're so expensive to where I want to make it worth it. So I figure maybe I could, like, I have one protein bar in my bag right now that's been in there for like, I don't know, probably just about a week. And before that, it was in my locker at work for a while. It was in the locker at my work for like probably a month or longer before I put it in my bag. And when I put it in my bag a week or two ago, I thought that I was gonna have it like that same day, but I'll normally try to put off having them and just like make them last as long as I can because they are so expensive. So I figure maybe like when I just want to do a quick little video, maybe in the future, like rather than going on to like a topic that's going to be something that would take a long time for me to talk about, if I just want to do like a quick little light kind of fun video, I could do reviews on some of the protein bars that I have. And that would maybe help me feel a little better about, you know, having them. Because yeah, they are so expensive and I normally just try to save them like as long as I can when I have some like on reserve, like, you know, just in my locker, in my bag. Normally, it's weird because yeah, I normally am pretty active, or I try to be. And a lot of times obviously I can't always do this, but what I typically try to do, I'll typically try to get through a day without basically without eating anything while I'm out, other than maybe like a few almonds and some raisins. But like I typically will eat a pretty big breakfast. I don't know if you could call it breakfast. Like basically before I head out, before I go to the gym or work or whatever it is, I try for it to be both, but sometimes I'm not able to get to the gym before work. But regardless, like before I leave my apartment, basically, I'll typically eat a lot then to get myself, you know, like up and ready to go. Typically that's when I'll have most of like, you know, my sugar intake. I try not to have very much sugar like at night or before bed. And honestly, I really don't crave it that much or as much at those times. When I really crave sugar, it's typically when I get up and before I head out, just to get myself going. So I'll do that. But then when I'm actually out for the day, like at the gym and at work, at the club, a lot of times I'll try to push myself to get through that time period without really eating, you know, until I get back to my apartment later that day or that night, whatever it is. It's typically in the evening that I'll get back. But every now and then I will, oh my gosh, 2 cars just passed me. I'm going the speed limit, but the speed limit is 25 where I am right now. So yeah, I'm not always able to do that, especially when I'm particularly tired or PMSing and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, protein bars are just so expensive. Everything's just so expensive. I just try to make stuff last as long as I can. But like this protein bar that's been sitting in my bag now for a while, when I do eventually have that, I feel like I'm probably gonna have it soon because it's been pending now, you know, like it's been like calling my name and just pending there in my bag. When I do have it, maybe I'll just like have it rather than having it at work, especially because I get so uncomfortable. Part of the reason I don't eat when I'm out is because I'm just so uncomfortable like eating at work. Like if anyone were to see me, I get really like just uncomfortable and embarrassed about it. I've always struggled with my weight, and like where I work at the strip club, like where our bodies are on display a lot, like, and my weight's gone up and down so many times, like in the time that I've worked there, before that I worked there, like just almost all my life since puberty pretty much, but especially since I started stripping. It's definitely exasperated like my struggles with my weight and my body a lot. So, and it's funny because like a lot of the other dancers, they really don't seem to care at all. Like they'll order fast food and they'll just like pig out in front of each other, and it's no big deal for them. And it's honestly amazing to me because I'm like, wow, like it's great to see. Like, don't get me wrong, like I think that's awesome. Like I love that. I wish I could be like that too. I just don't know how they do it. Like I'm just so self-conscious, and I hate being like that. I hate being self-conscious. I hate being like such a little baby about everything, or such a big baby about everything. But I just don't know how to get past it. So yeah, I'm really uncomfortable eating at work and just anywhere. Like even in my own apartment, like when no one else is around, or I think no one else is around, like no one that I'm aware of anyways. I always feel like someone is watching some way, somehow, but you know, like paranoia, I guess. But even when I'm like, you know, supposed to be alone in my apartment, even then I feel uncomfortable eating. Like I feel the guilt and the stress from it. But at least it's not as bad as when, you know, like I'm out at work or when I'm out and about. So I try to keep my eating times to just when I'm at my apartment. But yeah, when I don't, so I don't really eat like in the locker room or in the dressing room at the club very often. And if I do, I just try to have it be super quick, like just tossing back a couple almonds or raisins, or maybe having a little banana or something. But the protein bars typically take me longer to like, you know, like I have to open them up and like, you know, like unwrap them and like chew more. And it just, I'm very OCD. So I feel like I have to like brush them off first and make sure there's no dust, and like there's usually like, you know, stuff on the wrapper, like dust and like little like particles of things. I have no idea what, but sometimes I'll even go as far as to like rinse them off. Like my groceries typically at my place, at my apartment, I'll rinse off before I open them because there's always like stuff on the packaging. And it's like another one of those things that no one else seems to notice or care about, or it wouldn't bother most people, but for me it does. I'm just weird like that, I guess. So yeah, like even it's so much too much of a hassle for me to have a protein bar most places, I guess, like especially in the strip club. I feel like I'd want to like rinse them, or at least try to like brush them off and like get stuff off the wrapper before I open it, and then I have to like, you know, take bites and chew, and they're so expensive. I want to at least try to enjoy them while I'm having them. So I was thinking, well, since I don't usually like to have protein bars in the strip club, maybe I could just go out to my car and do a quick little like video review in my car, because that might be a little bit more comfortable for me. Still not completely comfortable, but at least a little bit better than actually being in the club, you know, because like in the parking lot in my car, people could still see me. And they're like, what is she doing? Is her phone up? Is she taking like a video right now? Like even me just eating in front of like people being able to see into my car, me eating in the parking lot there in the first place would be weird. But honestly, I think I would feel better doing it on a video. I don't know. I just feel better, like with the driving, I feel better doing it on a video. I highly doubt, like I have so many like doubts and reservations about trying to make a YouTube channel, but I feel like if I could actually like have any amount of success whatsoever with it, I feel like I could really get into this and really enjoy it, because I'm such a talker, I'm such a rambler, but also it just feels so much less lonely. And I haven't even posted any videos yet. But even just like making the videos and like talking to the camera and like with the hope that someday somebody might see them and like relate to anything that I'm saying, or just like, I don't know, I just already, even just making the videos just makes me feel somewhat better. Just like getting the stuff off my chest. I really hope I'm able to upload some of them sometime. And yeah, just not caring what people think as much. Like the reviews that I did for the protein bars earlier, or the protein bar that I had earlier today, I had like chocolate on my face and like my like wig hairs all over my face, like unkempt, like unbrushed, no makeup, no eyebrows on. I'm not wearing any makeup whatsoever right now, and today didn't do my eyebrows. And I was thinking, like, if I ever did get followers or subscribers, I would try to be like, you know, like receptive to what people might want to see, but also to like get views, or to try to get views, or like entice people to watch me more. I've mentioned that I'm bald a few times. Like, this is a wig, I wear wigs. And like, I've never had the guts to not wear a wig when I go out anywhere that I go. Like, whether I go to the strip club to work, whether I go to the grocery store, whether I go to the gym, anytime I leave my apartment, I wear a wig. I've never really been bald in front of anybody else before that I can think of. At least not on purpose. My wig did actually fall off a couple times at the club. One time it was actually like in front of like a full room, a full crowd of people, like a busy night shift. And that was before I was completely bald. It was like as I was like going bald, and I just had like a little bit of patches of hair left that I didn't shave off because I don't have like a hair shaver or like a buzzer thing. So I had a feeling based on how the pattern was going that I was eventually going to lose the little patches that I had left anyway. So I was just like, it's just a matter of time. I'll just let the rest fall out naturally, just like the majority of my hair already had. But that time the wig fell off. This was years ago, but that time when it fell off, I was actually on the pole. I was upside down, the freaking 13-foot pole that we have at the strip club that I work at. And there were so many people like in the crowd, and just like, it was so embarrassing. But at the time, I just remember like all I cared about in that moment was not falling off the pole, because I knew that if I did, I would most likely get seriously hurt, if not like freaking break my damn neck, you know? Like, it's a big pole. I was up there, I was upside down. It was so traumatic and humiliating, and just an awful time, an awful experience to have. But I'm just so thankful that I didn't get hurt, like physically, that I didn't fall off the pole, that I had enough just like self-control. Like, I was able to like just snap right away into it, to be like, just don't fall off this pole. Just like deal with it, get through it, but do not fall off this pole right now. And that's what I did. I got myself down safely off the pole as quickly as I could, and just yanked that thing back onto my head. So that was years ago. But actually recently, oh my gosh, and this was a really weird time. So the Pope died, what was it, like Easter this year? It's August now, so back in April of this year is when the Pope died. I think it was Easter. And oh my gosh, it was so weird, because by that time, like, I've been completely bald now for a while. And that time I was like I said, it's been a while that I've been completely bald. So I was completely bald back then. And I was just like doing floor work. Like, thankfully this time I wasn't on the pole. It wasn't that busy. It wasn't busy at all. Thank gosh, this time. It was like earlier in the shift. It was Easter. This was Easter. So obviously, like, that's part of why it wasn't busy. We had just opened, so this time wasn't as big of a deal, but there was a guy, the manager there, like had a crush on, and I'm pretty sure he probably saw, because I think he was in the DJ booth behind me and I was on the stage. I was just like stretching and practicing, but I remember I leaned back and it was Easter, so I had bunny ears on, and I think the weight of the bunny ears, it's weird because I had gone upside down on the pole at some points with those ears on and they stayed on, but for whatever reason, when I was just simply stretching and leaning back like on the floor of the stage, just like doing like, you know, bending back over the tip rail or something, I guess the wig wasn't on tight enough or whatever, it had gotten loose, and the weight of the ear, that combined with the weight of the bunny ears, like it's just, the ears and the wig fell off my head basically, and my bald ass head was just out in the open. And that was embarrassing, but that was just a few, you know, like I just, whatever, there weren't that many people there. I wasn't on the pole that time, thank gosh. So it wasn't nearly as bad as the first time it had happened years before that. So I just, you know, put it back on my head, like reached over, picked it up off the floor, put it back on. But also that was really weird timing because they had installed new lights at the club that day, like earlier that day or recently, and the lights were hurting my eyes. So me being like a bit of a cheeky ass, I remember I had folded the bunny ears like over my eyes to kind of like shield my eyes from the lights during that shift. Like not, obviously not for the entire shift, but like just for like a little bit of it, like at the beginning, like just to be like silly, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, those lights. So I folded the ears like this over my eyes, and you know, like I was getting a kick out of it and I wanted other people to get a kick out of it too. Like, ha ha ha, like I'm so silly, blah, blah, blah. But later that night is when the Pope died. And I remember looking back, I was like, you know how the Pope wears like a white, or he wore, or like it's part of like the Pope's costume or whatever, like part of their outfit to wear that little white hat on their head. And it's kind of like shaped like a little cap, like a flat little cap. The way that I had bended the ears over my eyes, or over like to shield my eyes, it kind of reminds me of the hat that the Pope would wear. So it's just such weird timing, like looking back, that I had like basically made it almost looked like a little cap like that with the ears, a little white cap. And then that's what the Pope would wear. And then the Pope died later that night. And not only that, but one of the other dancers that used to work there also died that night in a car accident with her boyfriend. R.I.P. Her dancer name was Emerald. And she was one of the most gorgeous, not thankfully, but I mean, I wasn't that close with her. I didn't really know her. So, but it's still just, it's such weird timing looking back. It was still really sad and traumatic because she's one of the dancers that had been there the longest that I had seen. Like, she had been there a long time. She was just one of the most gorgeous people I had ever seen. She was so freaking gorgeous, and just, she seemed like a really nice person, like a very artistic person. I wasn't friends with her on Facebook or anything because, like I said, I didn't really actually know her that well, but I had seen her, I had worked with her and like been like a casual acquaintance with her there for so many years. And I did go and look at her Facebook, you know, after the fact, after she had passed away, and she had so much artwork on there. She just seemed like such a cool person. But yeah, because it was Easter, it wasn't very busy that shift at the club, and there also weren't that many other dancers working at that time, you know, because it was Easter. So she was working though that day, and because there weren't that many other dancers, her working that shift and her working there at the club before her and her boyfriend left later that night and got into that accident and passed away. They both passed away. It was a bad accident, I guess, but you know, like, she stood out to me that shift because it was only me and like her and a few other dancers that were there. So more of like what she did and what the other dancers did was noticeable and stood out to me. I actually remember her walking into the club at the very beginning of the shift, and I remember being on stage and watching her leave, because I stayed pretty late that night. I think I stayed until the closing time that night, which I normally don't do very often, but I'm pretty sure I worked from open to close that day and that night, that shift. And I remember watching her walk in at the beginning, and I remember watching her leave. She left a little bit early, so she left earlier than I did, obviously. But I remember being on the stage. I remember the direction I was facing. I was facing north. I was facing the DJ booth, and yeah, I remember her walking out with her bag. She was walking towards the office to go sign out, and I just remember like I saw her come in and I saw her leave. And I guess her and her boyfriend got into that accident shortly after she left. I think he had picked her up maybe around midnight or so, and we're open until 2 a.m. So I think they got into the accident around 1:30, shortly after midnight, I think it was. But anyways, I'm rambling again. Oh my gosh. The drive back was actually the drive back from the gym to here was actually a lot quicker than I thought it was gonna be. And that's part of like what doing the video seems to do for me with the driving. It makes it go by so much faster. So I'm pretty much at my apartment now.